Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today, we're going to make cabbage. Aren't you excited? You've heard of boiled cabbage and fried cabbage. What I'm going to do is roast this cabbage along with some other ingredients in the oven, and I'm going to use my cast iron skillet. So, first thing we're going to do, let's get right to it, I'm going to fry some bacon. And what I've done is I cut up some bacon strips. And so I'm just simply going to add those to the pan. Let me bring you down here so you can see the pan. Isn't that exciting? Okay. All right. Can you see the pan? Oh, I think you can see the pan. Okay. I've got my pan on. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So I'm going to crisp up this bacon a bit. But one of the things that I want is I want to render the bacon fat. That's the deal. So I want to render the bacon fat and get that all nice. Let me rinse my hands real quick. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Salt because salt makes food taste good. And pepper because I love pepper on bacon. Even when I fry slices of bacon, I will sprinkle a little pepper on there because it's delicious. Alright, get this turned down a little bit because I don't want it popping all over the place. And I'm going to cook this up so it's kind of crispy. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. It's overcast and windy here today. And I don't know, it can get a little bit depressing. You know? It just can. So sometimes when it gets like that, it's nice to be able to make some comfort food. Now, you wouldn't think cabbage is comfort food, but it kind of is. Now, what I have in this bowl here, I have some cabbage. And I've got some cabbage which I cut up, and you can see that it's quite chunky. That's how I want it. I want it to be chunky because it's going to roast off in the oven. And I have some onions that I sliced up, and you can see that the onion is pretty chunky, pretty thick. And I have some potatoes. There's about 3 potatoes in here. This is about a half a head of cabbage. And the potatoes are chunky because we're roasting them. And because we're roasting them, we don't want them to disintegrate. So, that's the main thing. Now, I think, and all the seasoning I'm just adding is salt and pepper. I'm not going to add any liquid or anything like that to the mix. Now, that's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to put in my onions. Now, I'm just using the one hand. And when I put all the goodies in, you're going to think, oh my gosh, that's full. But these all will shrink up. They won't be full anymore. The cabbage will shrink. The onion certainly will. And oh, that smells good. There's just something about the smell of bacon and onions. I don't know what it is, but that's all I like. Alright. A little bit more salt on my onion. A little more pepper. Just a tad. And let's get these browned up a bit, or softened a little bit. That's basically what we're going for. I'm not going to brown them. They will brown in the oven. And honestly, I think just to give them a good start, I'm going to jack this oven temperature up to 400. It's at 350 right now. I'm going to jack it up to 400 degrees, and we will give it a good hot start. Alright, now I'm going to throw in my potatoes. The reason I'm doing this is because I want my potatoes to, and you see these potatoes are just quartered. I want my potatoes to get a nice bath in this bacon grease, the bacon, the onion, kind of get them a head start. And don't criticize me, but salt takes a lot of flavor. Potatoes takes a lot of salt. You just try eating potatoes without salt and see how you love it. You probably won't. Alright. That smells so good. Now I'm going to put in the cabbage and pop that in, get it mixed up. And the reason you want it chunky is you just don't want your cabbage to disintegrate because it's going to soften up. I expect in the oven this will probably take 30 to 45 minutes. And you'll know when it's done, when your vegetables are soft. And we want them to be a little bit kind of brown and golden. That's nice. Get it mixed up here a little bit. Get another spoon. Sometimes you need to bring out the heavy artillery. This is heavy artillery, this thing is. See, it's reached 400. Now, to start this, I'll put a lid on it, just to give it a good start. And then, a little bit of salt on that cabbage, just a smidge, not much. And then, I will take it off. Now, I'm going to look down here and see if I've got a little bit of chicken. So we have to make do. You can put this in anything. Got my lid on. You can put it in anything that's oven proof, but the cast iron skillet is awesome. It's great. Alright. So, let's get this. Got my burner turned off. I'm going to pop this in the oven at 400 degrees, but I'm going to set my timer for about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to go in, take the lid off, and just let them roast. Alright, we'll be back. Isn't this exciting? Okie doke. I set my timer for 20 minutes and I put it on 400 degrees. So now I'm going to take the lid off. Now, you see how that's broken down some? It's not quite as full as it was. Because it will, the cabbage will shrink, the vegetables will shrink up. So, let's give this a toss. And all this has done by putting the lid on there, it's kind of steamed them a little bit and got them on their way to being done. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to toss them around, and you can see the potatoes are already starting to brown a little bit. It's getting done. I'm going to put this back in the oven. I'm going to turn it down to 375. Let me do that right now. And I'm going to pop it back in without the lid. And then I'm going to let this cook, bake, roast off in the oven for about another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay? It looks delicious already, doesn't it look good? And I can tell by the feel of this, they're already getting tender. The potatoes, you can see they're getting done. If you don't want to cut your potatoes in quarters, cut them in half. Just peel them and cut them in half, and they will be perfect. Okay, off we go, and we'll be back. All right, our roasted cabbage is done. Want an up close and personal look? Oh, this looks wonderful, and it smells so good. My kitchen smells great. Now, whoops, here's what I want to tell you. I put it back in the oven. It was in there for about 15-20 minutes, about 20 minutes, just shy of 20 minutes. At 375 when it went back in. And I set my timer. The reason I use my timers quite a bit is because I don't want to forget about it. I don't want my cabbage to burn. I don't want the dish to dry out. So your timer is your friend. Now, let me tell you, if you want to, you can add, along with your cabbage and potatoes and bacon and your onion, you can add Brussels sprouts if you want to. You can add some carrots. Instead of, you can put some green beans. You can put some, instead of white potato, use a sweet potato. You can do that. My older daughter, she roasts off a cabbage and sweet potatoes and other things together, and they're delicious. So you can do whatever you like. You can add sausage instead of bacon. You can add kielbasa. You can add hot dogs. You can add leftover roast or ham, diced ham. It's whatever you like. If you're not a meat eater, don't add any meat. That's perfectly fine. At the end of your dish, if for the last few minutes, if you get a hankering, just sprinkle some cheese on the top of it and let that melt over it. It's just absolutely whatever you want to do, you can do. You make this dish your very own. If there's a spice that you want to put in that I didn't because I just used salt and pepper, that's okay. You use whatever you like, okay? It's your dish. And these are just guidelines for you. Now then, I just want you to know that food is not just to nourish the body. Sometimes we need food that nourishes our souls too. And this is a comfort food. It is can be a memory food in your home. It's something that your children might grow up and ask for. And even if they don't like cabbage, I guarantee you they probably will like this. Okay, and it's very cheap to make. The cabbage was $1 something. I only used half the head. I have 3 potatoes in here. I've got 4 slices of bacon in here, and the bacon was on sale. And I have 1 onion. Now then, if you decide to make this dish for yourself, I highly recommend that you use a shallow pan. If you use a Dutch oven or something of that type, something that is deeper, you can use a big baking dish or a cake pan or whatever, you know, a 9 by 13. But whatever you use, make sure that it's a shallow pan, because otherwise you're just going to steam your vegetables and they're not going to roast off. They're not going to get that nice color. See how this is? And that's what we want. We want that good browning that you get. See that tighter? Oh, it's pretty delicious. All right. Listen, I love you. If I can do it, you can do it. And you just remember that little is much when God is in it. Okay? All right. I'm going to sit down and have a dish of this. Don't you wish you were me? All right. I love you. You take care, and I will talk to you in the comments below. And maybe you can share with me how you like to do cabbage. I'd like to hear about it. I love it when you share your food memories with me, and when you share your methods for cooking various foods. All right, love ya. Bye. Talk to you later.